Hello and welcome to the Games Vault podcast. My name's Brett. I'm joined by Tyler.
Hello.
And today we are not joined by Chris. Instead, we're joined by Michael.
G'day.
Michael is a games reviewer. He writes for a independent game website, and he also manages a is that what it is? Manages a D&D blog.
I'm the owner and operator, writer, sole proprietor of a Dungeons and Dragons blog.
Well qualified for the job.
Yeah, so he's probably overqualified, if anything. Chris decided to go and get married and then go on a honeymoon and basically not join us today.
Yeah.
So
written warning.
If this goes well, we'll just sack Chris completely and get Michael on. So
or his wife.
Sounds good.
Time. Yeah, whatever. Play the thing.
You're listening to the Games Vault podcast.
So this week, me and Tyler have been playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate. How have you found it, Tyler?
Good.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's after Unity, I was apprehensive because Unity was good fun but not amazing, and Syndicate's just blown me away.
It's interesting. It came out on consoles on the 24th of October, and it's only just come out last November 19, a couple of weeks ago, in Windows. So we've been playing the PC version. It's certainly a lot more polished and less bugs than Unity has.
Yes.
We played that when it first came out. Well, I did anyway.
I played Unity for about 5 or 6 hours, and I didn't really feel a desire to go back to it, to be honest. I mean, to be fair, Battlefront and Fallout came out that same sort of time.
Yep.
But I'm actually drawn to now play Syndicate over Fallout. I haven't completed either of them yet, so
yeah, it's I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more than Unity. I feel like they've sort of polished the game up nicely, and
very much
they're
so.
using very much the same formula.
It's a recycled formula, but
so
some new things.
Starting out with the graphics of the game, what do you
stunning.
Yeah.
Rivals Battlefront, I would say.
Yeah, going from Fallout, which we've been playing, to then go on to Assassin's Creed. It looks absolutely amazing.
Oh, next to Fallout, it's just.
And I actually went yesterday. I actually went and played some Fallout just after playing Assassin's Creed, and I've got to admit, I'm actually struggling.
Yeah,
it just looks so awful.
Yeah,
and
Fallout is
primitive,
pretty in itself.
Yeah, when I was playing, I'm like, this looks pretty
like
good.
Muted colours and sort of foggy in comparison.
Yeah, a lot of people were sort of slagging off the graphics, but I guess it's one of those things. It depends where you're sort of coming from.
Yeah.
You know, the sort of games that Michael plays, he'd play Fallout, his fucking brain would probably explode.
I saw it on an Xbox.
Yeah.
It looks pretty clunky at times.
What, are you talking about Assassin's Creed or Fallout?
No, Fallout.
Oh,
sorry.
Fallout, yeah. Have you seen Assassin's Creed at all?
No.
Have you played any of them?
Played the first one.
Yep. Okay.
So that
Didn't really like it.
That wasn't that good, that one.
No, I didn't like the first one.
I really got into 2.
I gave it about 2 hours and I quit on it.
I've actually played all of them.
Yeah. Me too.
I really like the ones with Ezio in them.
Yeah, number 2 was fantastic.
I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do they still have that Animus thing? Is that still a central plot point?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. But they seem to have
expanded on it a bit.
They seem to have minimized it.
Yeah.
Like you sort of start out with this meta story, and I absolutely hate that side of it. It's just totally pointless, and I don't
you never finished number 3, did you? Or 4?
No.
At the end of 3 or 4, you're still Desmond, and the world's going to end due to a solar flare. Right. And you save the world by killing yourself, and it's sort of like that's where that Animus bullshit kind of wrapped up.
Yeah.
And after that, it became Abstergo, which is this kind of like evil Google thing.
Right.
We're trying to take over history using this flashback machine sort of thing. So they've toned down on it, but it is still there.
Because I was thinking like that it seems the most unnecessary plot point.
Yeah,
like
it's exactly
you're an assassin in like cool periods of time.
But no, you're
what
not.
What else do you need?
Yeah.
Do you need to be in a white computer room?
Yeah.
Not really.
I don't understand. And what they'll do is, it hasn't really happened yet in Syndicate, but in Unity, you'd be really engrossed in the game, really into it. You're like, cool, just really feeling the character and stuff. And then suddenly it's like the world just kind of disappears. And it's like, oh, I've just woken up. And it's just like, it totally breaks the immersion, pulls you out of the game. And I just be, oh, fuck this. And I usually
the exact same problem with 1. It's like, oh, sweet, I'm running around the Middle East or Jerusalem, wherever. And then suddenly, like running around from, roof to roof, doing all these cool moves. Then suddenly I'm walking around like slowly, the world's most boring room.
Goes first person.
They've got this make any sense.
They've got this thing about, it's like you're reliving their memories and stuff.
I
And
know,
it's like
but
we're trying to find pieces of Eden.
I think it's one way they can justify when you fuck stuff up and they're like, no, that's not how it happened. And you go back and do it again, or you died, sorry, try again. It's sort of it negates the whole having
It's like
lives
not
thing, but
necessary.
it's
But
like
then it's like when you're when you're in that
convoluted.
meta story,
Yeah.
if you die in that, then it's like, well, what? Well, now you're really dead because
well, the first thing I started doing was murdering civilians, and it was like Ezio didn't kill civilians. and it's like, oh fuck.
Well, it still does that.
Yeah.
Because I was running children over with my horse and carriage,
that was great
and
fun, yeah.
it's
Not allowed.
it was quite funny actually. But
So-
they actually sort of like they sort of shimmer and kind of like disappear. Like for a second, because obviously, apparently, child killing is, frowned upon.
When you're assassin, but man killing's okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you kill civilians though, it'll give you a warning,
Right.
And then
Don't you assassinate civilians anyway? They're just
Well, it depends.
Nice.
It's like if the game
Templars.
decides that they're a civilian, then you're not allowed to kill them.
Yeah, well, it seems a convoluted way of, games
Yeah.
have already worked out the game over screen. Seems to
Yeah.
work well enough.
So Syndicate's set in it's Victorian London, and to me it's like, obviously I wasn't alive in that time, but just like but walking around, I don't know how sort of accurate it is to what it was like back then, but it almost feels like a sort of, you're just going back in a time machine to this amazing, breathing, beautiful city, and it's just so
It's
well
alive
done.
with just
People
and things.
There's just been missions where it's like it's early in the morning and you're seeing the carts going around. You can hear the
little cobblestones and the
hear
wooden tires.
Yeah, you can just hear the horses
clopping along.
and, it just really draws you in, and you really feel like you're there. So they've done a really good job with that.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like I was reading a review and they said it's kind of like you've got a toy train set and like someone's built this amazing sort of world that's like beautiful, and you're just kind of, you're not really interacting with that much.
Yeah.
You're more of like a passenger. You're just
Observer,
viewing it,
yeah.
more of an observer, which I do agree with a bit.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. If I'm playing a game, or if I'm playing with a train set, I'd prefer a slightly uglier, less perfect looking train set that I could like muck around with and break.
That's kind of what Fallout is, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I suppose, but it's not like you can destroy everything's fucked up.
Nothing's
anyway,
really destroyable,
but
apart
it's-
from the carts and whatnot.
Yeah,
But-
I really like the introduction of the carts.
Yep.
It's sort of like become like, it's like Grand Theft Auto.
It is.
1868 now. So
The vehicle combat is hilarious.
yes,
You can sort of slam
You
people
can
with your
smash
cars,
them,
and
you
the
can-
wheels get all wrecked and fall off and stuff.
you can power slide the.
You can murder horses. That's
It's
always
funny.
funny.
Oh, because the horse is dragging it and then the
So
wheel
you'll
is,
be
like, sliding.
you'll be like going along, and then there'll be guys chasing you. Instead of shooting the guys, I worked out you just shoot the horse in the head, and then the whole like cart will like flip over and like catapult them out of the thing. So it's pretty funny.
Surely killing an innocent horse, deserves the animals restarting.
No, it's fine.
No,
They're fine with
that's
that.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just kids.
That's how it happened in history.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. You know.
It makes sense because I remember that same first mission where you're in a bit of a car chase, so to speak, and it's quite difficult to headshot these guys. But to kill the horses, I didn't think of it. But well
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
there.
You just take the horse out.
Yeah.
Reminds me of
You can't shoot the tire.
It was like
out,
Red
it's
Dead,
it's made
Red
of wood.
Redemption
Yeah,
a bit where you
that was a
just
great game.
blast all the horses.
I missed that.
It was just like a horse murder simulator.
Yeah, well, it was funny because one of the first missions of the game was to go into this house, and I came out and there was a horse's corpse in the street, and I didn't even know how it got there. Presumably you'd driven past or something.
yeah.
I didn't know you could kill them until I saw that.
Speaking of like bugs and stuff, have you found? Obviously, Unity was like plagued with bugs. How have you found this?
I can't think of anything yet.
Yeah.
No, I can't think of anything. Oh, sorry. The free running shat me to tears a little bit. I mean, it's the same as most of the other games. You've got free run up and down now, which is slightly different, but that was in
They did that in
Unity
Unity as well.
But I often find it doesn't do what I want it to do. And I don't chop that up to me being shit. It just like,
No.
there was one scene where I had to jump onto this moving train and I was above it. It was right there. All I had to do was press forward and jump, and she just wouldn't jump off the ledge.
Yep.
And then she sort of climbed down, then she climbed back up, and then she dove off in the
Oh,
wrong
yes.
direction into a hay bale instead. And I had to redo that mission 4 times. And every time I'm in the exact spot you need to be in, and she just wouldn't make that leap. And that
It
shat me.
always seems to be when you're getting chased and when it's really
the
important
clock's
that they
ticking,
do the right
yeah.
thing, that they'll
Yeah.
just like mess about and
Yeah.
climbing through windows. I feel like that's
Yeah.
still not right because
Yeah.
it'll come up with like press R to go into the window, but if you miss like if you look the wrong way, it'll just fire a grappling hook
Yes,
off and then
same
you just
key,
like
yeah.
pull yourself off. So
Yeah.
what do you think of the grappling hook?
I love the grappling hook. I mean, this is how many of these games we played now, and running, nothing worse than climbing up a tower to do your eagle vision, synchronization. It takes
Yeah.
about 20 minutes. Now you can just jump from anywhere to anywhere instantaneously.
I
love
sort
it.
of hated it at
love
first.
it.
I was like, this is, climbing, and I feel like it had taken it out of a bit of the like essence of Assassin's Creed. But then when I got used to it, now it's like, I love it.
I've got that key macro to my mouse now, so anytime you want, you can just fire straight up. It's such a quick and easy way to move about, especially rooftop to rooftop. You sort of flying fox
cool
your way
to
across.
to get around the
you
city
can
and stuff.
dive off it and kill people.
And also, I think they've introduced it because the streets are a lot wider. I don't know if you've noticed. And
you can't jump house to house anymore.
You can't, so they kind of would have had to introduce something. I think it does go a little bit too far, though. You can shoot it about, I swear, like 300 meters.
I went up Big Ben in one go, yeah.
Yeah,
literally.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Like, how high is that? Like,
who cares?
Yeah.
Is it black powdered fire?
No,
or
it's this mechanical thing comes off your little switchblade in your wrist, and it just
there's no ammo for it. It just you can use it as many times as you want. And
I love it.
It defies physics. Like you just fire it up a building, and then you just kind of like just whizzes up it somehow.
And when you go building to building, how does that work? Because she fires it, and suddenly you've got a zip line, and it's like, what's the other end attached to?
Yeah, those questions are best. Just not. Don't worry about that.
In any case, I enjoy them because I'm sick of climbing. It's been that many games now. It's good to be able to just whiz about and really,
We were just touching on bugs there. I'm the same. I haven't really found any. I did have a spot where the game was crashing at one part, and what I did was I turned SLI off and then got past that bit and then put SLI back on and it's totally fine. So it was like an explosion that it didn't like SLI, the explosion. So I just had to get past it. With one
graphic
card.
issue more... stuff or not?
Well, it would just crash, and then I thought the game was stuffed because I couldn't even get into it for a while. I couldn't even, and then I read a few forums and stuff, and they said
that's so strange.
Disable SLI just for that part. But
the only other thing I saw was in that same mission with the train. You have to get on top of the roof and put these little fires out, and it's like a very on rails sort of thing.
Mission.
It was like approach the fire. Wait for it to prompt you to press E. Meanwhile, you're getting burnt, so that's fun.
Yep.
And then finally, it says press E, and like fuck E, and then it's like mash 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to put this fire out. And it was just such a shambly thing. I didn't like it at all. That just took me out. Like I've never, at the end of each mission, it says, "Do you want to rate this mission?" And I've never had an urge to do it until this one came up, and I went just
I know the
1
mission
star.
is awful.
Yeah, horrible.
Hang on a minute. Rate a mission.
Rate this memory.
Rate
Sorry.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it goes back to Ubisoft.
I've never rated it.
headquarters.
I assume so.
Yeah.
So they can work out what people like.
Yeah, I'm assuming they'll get a lot of 1 stars for that one, just because it was so buggy. It was a cool idea. Chase the train down on your horse and cart, get above it, jump onto it, then you got to fix it before it crashes. It's a great idea, but it just didn't work.
It was just like little fires just keep appearing, and you just go and put them out.
Yeah.
So it just becomes putting out fire simulator for that mission. It's not.
It was dumb.
Yeah. There was a bit of a bug where one of the guys that was following me, how you get like gang members that can follow you around now. He just kind of like slipped and just like fell off the building to his death.
That's awesome.
I don't know if it was a bug or not, but it looked really unnatural. Like it wasn't like a slipping animation. And he fell. He just kind of suddenly went on his side and then just like fell to his death. It was really like weird.
I had a great one actually. I took a photo. I'll show it to you. I kicked a policeman off the roof, and he landed on his back on this archway, and he's just bent over like the letter U shape.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry for the listeners at home, but I'm going to show this photo to Brett because I actually thought it was pretty hilarious.
It's quite interesting with the police. Like, you can kill as many of them as you want, and you don't get like heat or anything like that.
Oh, right.
Like in GTA. I suppose they don't have radios and stuff. So
This guy.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at this.
He landed like that off the ceiling.
Describe it in detail for the listeners, Brett.
Yeah. So it's just a cop, and he's landed like with his. It looks like his back's broken, and his head's kind of like wedged underneath
a gutter or
a
something.
piece of metal. And I don't know. Yeah.
I was trying to loot him from that position, but it wouldn't let me.
Did you like it how... So now you got like 2 characters. So instead of playing one, you have one guy who is like a fighter. He just like runs in and fucks shit up. And you've got the girl, Evie, who is better at stealth.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can kind of choose, and you can just switch between the 2.
Now, any mission... Oh, you can switch between either of them.
Can you do it during the mission?
It's I was going to say it's like GTA, but in GTA they have their own missions, whereas in this one you can play either mission with either person. And even each cutscene has both players, and depending on who you are, the cutscene will change.
That's weird that happens.
It was cool because there's only one grappling hook to begin with, and you sort of, whoever you are gets it, and then you go off and do the mission, but then, it's sort of, I would assume you couldn't change at that point, but I like being able to change.
Speaking of the characters, one thing it sort of annoys me is the constant inclusion of like historical characters. So
it's like here's
Thomas Edison. Here's Charles Darwin. And it's just like, just fuck off.
Leonardo da Vinci,
He just happens to run into like every well-known person, you know, like on the same block, within the same day.
It's actually just like the first character you meet,
It's just such a like, you are in, 1868.
Yeah.
Look at this. This person was around. And it's just like, you just...
it's interesting.
It's almost like, well, I suppose you can't, libel the dead, but it's almost libelous because of the stuff, because some of them are just assholes as well, or idiots. And it's just like,
Yeah, it's good fun. I like that there are 2 characters. It's a good change. And they each have their own skill tree as well. So you can build the bloke up to be more of a brawler if you want, and the girl to be a stealthy person, or you can take it however you like, really.
Yeah, I actually prefer Evie generally.
I played her 90% of the
I
time.
really like her weapon. She has like a cane that you kind of like you open it, it's like a sword, and then you just like, so it looks like a cane, and then it's like a cane sword.
People.
Is that what it's called? Cane sword or something?
Yeah, it's cool. And the dude's just got like gigantic brass knuckles.
Right.
Yeah, it's quite classy.
But then you can swap that up with swords and whatnot.
So you sort of like, you can be at a party with your cane, like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
And so next thing you're fucking stabbing someone in the head.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. I just started beating the shit out of some cop with this walking stick thing. It was really fun.
Yeah.
They're churning them out pretty quickly. Wasn't the last
They
one
are.
out a couple of months ago?
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's basically become like another Call of Duty.
Once a year.
It's once a year thing. They actually have, I think there's a couple of different studios that work on them. So it's not like they're doing one every year.
Yeah.
There's
a
Ubisoft,
Montreal, there's a Singapore.
Quebec did this one.
Yeah, Canada, yeah.
So I think there might even be, well, as you say, there's probably 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
And they just sort of cycle through them. But it really is, if you've played any of the Assassin's Creeds, it's basically the same game.
It is, just
with
with
just a few
bit more
tweaks to
stuff, more polish.
Yeah, you can now get sort of like, this is more of like a gang war. So you've got like your gang and as you get more territory, you can have like, you can just recruit guys to follow you around.
Yeah.
Like that Shadows of Mordor sort of influence.
Oh, that was good fun.
Yes.
That was a great game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is like that.
Very similar.
Yeah, which is cool. Like, so if you want to get your gang together and then, just charge in and have a huge big brawl, which is usually what I do when I attack a stronghold, you can do that, or you can do the stealth option. So it gives you a few. It's not like on rails, which is good. It just still gives you a lot of freedom to do things how you want.
Options you have to tackle any mission.
Yeah.
However you like.
So I actually, it took me a little while to get into it, to be honest, but now that I'm into it, I'm really loving it.
I enjoyed it. Why are you not drawn to this sort of games, Mike? Is it just because the first one wasn't good, or not your style, the stealthy sort of stuff?
Well, yeah, I guess the first one, it's kind of like you do 3 missions and you've done them all.
They're identical, you're right.
Yeah.
And I felt the exact same way until I played 2, which just really grabbed me.
It's like assassinate someone is usually the thing.
Yeah.
Follow,
it is Assassin's Creed.
assassinate.
So, it's going to be that.
And it's like, okay, let's get a big map. And it looks great, and there is people wandering around, but it's like, okay, so you've got like, climb up the tower so you can unlock a bit of the map.
Yeah.
Do something else, do something. So it's all the same kind of stuff. And you're just like ticking boxes, and it feels like, chores. I don't know if it's got past that, but...
I think the only one that was different is probably Black Flag.
Well, that's what you mentioned is exactly how I felt about number 1, and I literally turned it off after the first or second mission. But then when number 2 came out, I thought I'll give this a go, and from start to finish, I was just stuck with it. And even Brett played it 5 or 6 years after it was released,
right?
And he played it through without stopping.
Yeah, I got into it, and what is it, Brotherhood, and then
Brotherhood Revelations,
yeah, and then Black Flag I got into, but that
was 4.
Yeah, but that was really different though.
4 was great.
They moved right away, and you became like a pirate.
Yeah.
And you just go around.
I
and
enjoyed that a lot.
They had all these really good naval battles and stuff. Really cool. But then they just went back into, back into the same thing again.
There was a lot of hype around 3, and it just didn't measure up at all in my opinion. It was buggy and it was on rails and it was just crap. So that kind of turned me off the series until I played 4, which got me back into the series. So it's kind of very hit and miss.
That does seem to happen.
Maybe just different developers.
Yeah, it's different
studios.
It literally is different developers.
Yeah.
So the only thing, I would sort of say that I don't like about it is that it's still got paid content.
Don't get me started on that.
So you've paid like whatever $80 for the game, and then it's like this armor is so expensive that the only way you're possibly going to buy it is if you give us another $20, which when you've already paid $80 is absolute fucking bullshit.
Buy experience as well.
Winds me up so much. Sometimes I just don't even want to play the game because of that. It makes me so angry.
Yeah, maybe that's part of why I don't engage.
You don't like that
type of. I don't need that irritation in my life.
Yeah. So sort of to sum up with it, absolutely fantastic game. If you like any of the Assassin's Creed, you know what it's like. Recommend it to anyone.
Give it a go.
Really good
it's
fun.
It's gorgeous. You can just walk around for an hour and you just look at London.
Yeah, just looking around.
And then start murdering people. It's
amazing.
Yeah.
With games like this, and I was even I've gone back and played Skyrim this week rather. I feel like there's these great engines like this Assassin's Creed engine. They've made a great engine. It sounds like the game's lacking. It would be brilliant if they like like what happened with Fallout Las Vegas, where they give someone else. All right, so we've done the hard labor here with getting a great engine. Let's give it to someone who can write a cool story, get a cool game system on top of it. I don't know why they don't do that more, because they're just every year they're making a new engine, and that's all the hard work. and it's just like the same.
I feel like the engine is probably the majority of the work.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have like DICE where they have the Frostbite engine, which they've been using for a few years and they've been polishing up. It's amazing, but maybe it's like they don't want to give that to any other developers because that's their edge, is because they've got this incredible dynamic engine. So even if they sell it to someone, they've kind of lost that edge that they might have, and then that person might make a better game than they would.
But I mean, they could write in the contract, you've got to...
What, your game has to be shit?
Well, no, you can only use it, you can't really do anything other than what we say with it, make your own...
Make sure it's different to what they would...
Yeah, they could legally tie it up, I'm sure, and then they could just use the same engine a couple of times.
You'd be surprised at how many games use the same engine. Yeah. It's like the Unreal 3 engine.
Batman's still going with Unreal, and the last one was beautiful.
So many games use that engine. And so it is common. It's definitely done, but there are... like this. I'm actually not sure what the engine is. Anvil Next for Assassin's Creed, which I believe
I haven't heard of that one before.
I think that first debuted with Unity. I'm pretty sure it's the same engine. But again, it's like maybe they just want to keep that because that's their thing.
Yeah. So my point with Skyrim was like, it's kind of like they could. It's such a big robust engine, but it's like the game is at times lacking. Why not just give that engine to someone else to sort of make a... I know the modding scene's pretty huge, but...
Fallout uses the same engine as Skyrim, and it shows.
For
sure.
Yeah.
What's the name of that one?
Creation.
Yeah, so same guys made that game,
And it's not that... It doesn't look that much better.
Yeah.
Like they've put in... They've done some lighting effects and a few bits and pieces, but it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, going back to it after playing like Assassin's Creed, that was really difficult. It just looks really dated. So that's our Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
What would you give it out of 10?
Well, I don't really like doing that, but I will. So, thanks for asking me, Tyler.
Well, keeping things moving.
Yeah. Probably 8.5.
I would say 8, solid 8. Yeah.
Ooh.
I can't really
you
fault it.
You haven't said anything negative though. So why?
Well, no. Some of the bugs in the free running really shat me. Where it's, I mean, I don't know how hard that is to make something like that, because you can essentially go and climb anywhere, and your options at any one point are to go in 1,000 different directions, up, down, left, right, back, forward.
It's better than it's been.
Yeah, to do that on a keyboard, I suppose it is pretty good in what it can achieve now. It's only one time out of 100 when it messes up, but it's very irritating. So that's probably I don't know.
Okay, so
8.5. It's
so mainly just the controls that get a bit frustrating at times.
There's that, and then the fact that it's the same as every other game at this stage. Just kill all of these people for no apparent reason. Finding some apple or some shit. I don't know.
Finding an apple.
Yeah, it is. You're looking for that apple
of Eden.
or whatever.
Boy.
I don't know. Anyway, it's a good game. It's great. Okay. Don't listen to me. Play it.
We just gave it 8.
It's a good score.
Do listen.
It's better than Battlefront.
It is significantly. Age of Decadence. Michael wants to talk about a game.
Yes. So I have been playing over the last week or so a game called Age of Decadence, which is a isometric RPG.
So that means like a top
Define
down.
isometric?
Isometric, top down. So I suppose Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of
Diablo.
look. Diablo.
Isometric.
Huh. I learned something. Thank you.
That kind of, third person, but from that sort of...
original Fallout style?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Now, I've enjoyed it quite a bit. It is sort of got an interesting setting. It's actually... a lot of RPGs are sort of influenced by, say, like feudal Europe, Dark Ages kind of stuff, like knights and castles,
medieval.
things like that. Yeah, medieval, that's the word I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. It's more influenced by, like, the Greco-Roman world. Right. Specifically...
All I know about that is wrestling.
Hercules?
Well, more...
Greek, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no wrestling. Oh, actually, well, there is a Colosseum. So it's like... it's influenced by, I'm saying the Greco-Roman world, but more specifically the Roman Empire and the collapse of said empire. But it isn't actually it's kind of like a bizarro version of our world, but...
It's fantasy though, right?
Yeah,
like
fantasy,
monsters and all that shit.
Well, no monsters, no.
All right.
Well, not until the end where it gets a bit freaky. Not freaky, but just far out.
Like in a sex way.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Like you end up... I don't want to give it away.
Go on.
But basically...
Don't give it away.
Oh, kind of? It's
cool.
Well, people are going to...
We can't have spoilers.
It's not really a spoiler. It's
all
like,
right.
All right. So you'd like this game if you like, an RPG that's, Greco-Roman rather than medieval. The collapse of the Roman Empire, what happens afterwards, and then pyramids with, like, spaceships inside of it.
I see. Right, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think there used to be a big trope in like fantasy role-playing games in like the 80s and 90s, and it's gone away, where it's like, oh, by the way, everything's a spaceship. And I think time has passed enough where it's cool to do that again, or it seems exciting.
I wish they did that with every like Assassin's Creed. It's a spaceship.
It's an alien.
Yeah.
So you have this collapsing empire, this big powerful empire that was prevalent in the world. It's gone to shit because of some. Am I allowed to say shit?
Too much decadence.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
Absolutely.
Too much decadence has led to
always a bad thing. I imagine the robot in Futurama, the guy in the chair with the grapes. What's his name?
Yeah.
Hedonism bot.
Yeah.
Too much decadence.
So that's happened. There's been wars.
Everyone ate grapes.
Yeah. Too much.
And was fat on a chair.
So then there's like a bunch of like sort of bickering factions. Like you got a bunch of different houses. You've got like the remains of the Imperial Guard sort of fighting with, other armies and things like that. So you're kind of thrown into this world of strife.
Sounds like where I work now.
Yeah.
House of Tyler.
just government, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a cool, interesting setting. There's no magic. There's no like orcs. There's no Ratman, anything like that.
Ratman. Oh, I'm out.
Basically, yeah.
Mole rats.
You'll be fighting men. You fight like, dudes. That's it. But you can play. The good thing about the game is you don't need to fight. I finished the game.
Diplomacy, can you?
Yeah, I know a lot of games talk a big game about like Deus Ex. You can go through the whole game, play it how you want to play, blah blah blah.
God, that'd be boring though.
Well, it wasn't. It was quite cool. Like I played the whole game through with just diplomacy and like streetwise. I think the skill was. And I kind of didn't have a single fight.
Streetwise?
Much like your charisma in Fallout, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you kind of just like connive, you wander around town like conniving people to do the things that you want to do.
Are you just like one person?
Yeah, and
you're
sometimes
not, like, controlling armies and stuff?
No, sometimes you will get control of like a little contingent of men or something like that, but it all depends on...
And is it like the usual RPG where you're like collecting loads of items and upgrading?
No, not at all. Another thing I realised, you could... I didn't visit a shop. There is shops in the game, and you can, if you're playing like a fighter character. Oh, I tell a lie. I did visit a shop because I had a crossbow. I never used it, but you could buy a bunch of crossbows, upgrade it over time, and you can do all that, but you don't need to. So you can like talk your way through the whole game. Or you could play the game, as a fighter. But the problem with that is
murder everybody.
Well, you couldn't, because it's actually quite deadly. Like, if you get into a fight, like, you better be prepared. Right. Yeah. I'm telling you now, Age of Decadence is a tough place to fight. Yeah, so you can just like die instantly in the combat.
Does it have any historical like accuracy, or is it?
Well, definitely the spaceships in the pyramid, as we all know.
Yeah. Obviously,
that's
like,
fact.
that goes without saying. We're not even going into that. But just,
I don't
like
think it has
characters and stuff. Is it?
Not really. I mean, there's Roman names.
It's set in Rome.
Pardon me?
It's set in Rome?
No, it's not set.
Oh.
It's inspired.
Oh, okay.
I did say inspired.
Right.
I thought you meant it's like in Rome.
No. It's inspired by like a world. The Roman Empire's just fallen apart.
Right.
So there was once a glorious empire. Now it's gone. That empire kind of resembled Rome, but now it's gone. But it isn't, historical.
Okay. And is this game? Do you play this like via email?
No.
Just Michael. Michael has a game. What's the game called?
It's called Dominions 4, and it's one of the best games ever made. So just
and you
watch your
play,
tongue.
What do you? I didn't say. I just said, is it play by email?
Yeah,
you send your turn in an email.
Yeah, you play the game by email. It was popular back in the.
Sorry to derail the whole conversation.
It's good for turn-based strategy games when you take your turn. What's it called asynchronously. Not so.
Yeah, it'll be asynchronous.
Yeah, asynchronous. Yeah. So like everyone, you can do your turn and then you send it in, and then
sounds riveting.
It's like playing a game of chess. You just
sort of yeah, but there's a whole bunch of calculation. It's like Total War.
Rome Total War, yeah.
Yeah. So, but instead of you actually controlling the armies, you send in your orders beforehand. And then it calculates it, and you watch the battle.
And the main thing I like about the game is the graphics and how
all right, go look at Dominions 4. Anyone listening to this?
No, we're gonna get back to we're on Age of Decadence.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've derailed this. So back to
Age of Decadence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked it.
Finished it.
I like it's snappy. Like
How many hours?
I don't know, maybe 5.
Oh,
nice.
But the thing is, the way you play it, it's really snappy. I know a lot of. Has anyone here played Pillars of Eternity?
No, I've seen
Any
seen it on
recent
Steam.
role-playing games? Anything at all?
Assassin's Creed. Fallout. That's RPG.
Yeah, Fallout. Well, a lot of
Sort of.
role-playing games kind of
Get nerd rage for this one.
make the point of
Fallout is not a true RPG. You're fucked. I'm never listening again.
they're kind
Someone
of
will be saying that right this minute ago too.
Yeah. Switching off, asshole. Sorry.
What was my train of thought? Oh yeah, so like RPGs kind of like how good they are. They measure, the amount of dialogue they have. Yeah, Fallout did that. It was like we've got 5 billion lines of dialogue.
It's like 5 trillion.
Exactly 5 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like more words.
which
than
is like, well,
than
that doesn't
have
make
ever
it a
been
good
said.
game. It just means it's got a lot of dialogue. But anyway, a lot of RPGs sort of go around, really, shoving the world down your throat and saying, oh, look how interesting we are. This game's really sparse. It doesn't really go into a lot of detail. Like you just hit the game running. Like you just click through a couple of conversation trees and, you've already cut someone's head off and brought it to your lord and things like that. And it just runs quickly,
So who would you recommend it for?
Probably myself.
Yeah. But like people that aren't you.
I don't know if you like games like Baldur's Gate, but you thought maybe there was too much text in it and it was kind of a bit of a boring
And
setting.
the graphics were too good.
And there was maybe too many items and too much combat, and you wanted more of a sparsely, interestingly told story.
So
I would say even people
take out the fun parts. No,
people who like
You're not gonna get a good sell.
who like the kind of different ways you can approach a problem, like in Deus Ex, it really does a good job.
I enjoyed Deus Ex a lot. I'm looking forward to the new one actually.
Yeah, so you know how there's always a couple of different paths you could approach.
I like
this
that.
game has that, so you could do the talking route or the sneaking route or this that route.
I enjoyed the stealthy
Yeah.
aspect of that game more
So
than
it does
anything.
that really well. It really lets you do, each obstacle.
Make your own way.
Is it quite like open ended? So does the storyline, just change based on
Yeah, it does,
what's happening,
yeah.
or do you just always follow?
Because each different character class kind of, or each different, starting background,
Yeah.
plays the game a little bit differently because you might be a complete and utter outsider. I didn't play that role, or I played a praetor, so I actually had like a lord. I was actually running around doing quests for a specific person,
Yeah.
but you might start as an outsider person who doesn't really have anything to do with them, so you wouldn't have that whole quest tree, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And or you could start for a completely different house.
Okay.
So although it can be short depending on how you play it, I think each
So
time
has it got replayability?
Yeah,
Could you play it
definitely,
through
yeah,
again
'cause
with
you-
it?
each time
So
it's
you could
gonna
do
be
it-
played
You could be
differently,
like
yeah.
totally violent,
Yeah.
be a lunatic next time.
Yeah.
Do it that way.
And like even big decisions you make, like I went to one town and essentially I convinced the guy who was running the town to try to attack the slums and like take out the slums.
Yeah.
And then kind of with the idea that I knew it was going to go pear-shaped, and basically like the slums like beat the guards and sort of overran the town, and the guy got killed, and then you were banished from the town. So you didn't need to do that, but those kind of big things happen in the game, which I really appreciate.
So how much is this on Steam?
Yeah, I think it's about $20.
$20?
Yeah.
And it's only just come out quite recently?
Yeah, it's about a month or so old.
Who made it? Have you got
They're called Iron Tower, I believe. Let me just double check that. For all those dying to know who developed Age of Decadence.
interesting
Iron Tower
because-
Studio.
Have they made any other games of significance?
Not that I can recall. I think it's like it was in development for quite a while. That I remember playing the demo about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it's been in development for quite a while.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I think it's just one guy who does it.
Yeah.
A labour of love, but I think it's a great RPG, and I would recommend checking it out.
All right.
Do you have a sort of a skills tree? Can you how as a speaker do you get better? If that makes sense.
Well, it's like abstracted. So there's skill points you put into different skills.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different skills. Quite an interesting
Some videos
skill
on
set.
it. Yeah. It sounds interesting. I like things that are different.
Yeah, definitely worthwhile checking out.
Have either of you guys played Soimah?
I've only watched you play it. I haven't played it
Have
yet.
you,
No.
have you seen that? So, it's a horror game. I've just finished it last week and I've been playing it. And I just wanted to give it a very brief mention. But anyone who's into horror games and they like atmosphere and they like being drawn into a story.
That does sound good.
And having
sort of a late night kind of game.
Story, atmosphere. Yeah, you're talking about language.
It sort of draws. Yeah, you might like it.
Horror, you don't get much horror these days in focus games.
Graphics quite good, so I'm not sure if you. But it just draws you in. It doesn't rely on jump scares, which is good, I think, because it's not cheap. It's just like you just get wound up playing it. I only found I could play it for a couple of hours at a time. It's like first person shooter. Well, it's not first person shooter. It's first person interaction, so you kind of like interact with things. It's a new you can you use computers and sort of manipulate the environment, and you sort of slowly work out what's going on and stuff. Basically, what happens is you just wake up. And you're under the bottom you're on the bottom of the ocean, and everyone's dead, and you don't know what's going on.
Are you in a base or in a submarine?
You're in like a base underwater, and it's just like you just wake
sort
up.
Of Bioshock style.
Like a Bioshock, actually very similar to that sort of base. And it's just you slowly unravel what's happened and
what has happened.
Well, I'm not going to say. People need to play it.
From what I've heard him say from time to time, it does sound very interesting.
It's got a very cool,
very creepy
storyline, and it just really draws you in. And I just loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I want to squeeze it in between Battlefront and Fallout and Assassin's Creed and what's next? Just Cause is out next week.
That's our next game for next week.
It's just too much coming out.
Yeah, it's a really good time at the moment.
Good time to be unemployed, actually. I did resign my job last week, so
well done. So you can
not for this reason, but
you say that. But, I just wanted to touch on DirectX 12. I know some people might find this boring, but I'm a bit of a sort of nerd when it comes to stuff like this. So obviously most games at the moment, not the games that Michael might play, but most like modern games are DirectX 11. Basically, it's built into DirectX 12 built into Windows 10. They're promising significantly higher frame rates. What they're trying to do is, they always say that.
Yeah. They're not going to say, DirectX new one with less frame rates.
It's going to suck shit. Yeah, you will
it's
hate
really
it.
bad.
And you're stuck with it as well.
And suck shit because we've built it into the new OS that you got for free and now you can't uninstall or whatever the hell they're doing.
What they're trying to do is like work at the really low level programming. So just to get more, like rather than relying on drivers and stuff like that, you're actually just going straight to the hardware. So it's more like a metal type thing. Like Apple have their own version and stuff, but it's like it's just extracting more out of the card, like more out of the graphics card, less out of the processor. That's the idea. So what you can do with DirectX 12 is you can buy an NVIDIA card, and you can buy an ATI card. ATI, what are they called now? AMD. AMD. Sorry, and you can actually put them together and SLI the two cards together, and it will actually work. So
I think that's a great idea in theory, but considering even your two identical cards still have issues,
the problem is. They have issues with games that are not written for them. This is like actually built into DirectX 12. So SLI is going to be much more. It will be compatible with every game that has DirectX 12 in theory. So
it's sort of giving you a base amount of power which the game will draw on rather than
So
according to the PR release,
according to the PR release, it's going to be 1,000 times faster, and it will make women love you.
Make you more attractive.
It's
pretty good.
Yeah. So like, there's a couple of things as well. At the moment with SLI, if you put like say two 970s in, you've got 4 gig or 3.5 gig of graphics memory with each of those. You still only get 3.5 gig of graphics memory even when they're SLI'd.
Good deal.
This is going to allow that to be stacked. So you'll have like 7 because it's with the most people know, but with the 970 GTX, it's a 4 gig card. But 500 meg of that is like basically not usable. Yeah. So that's a little scam that NVIDIA pulled.
Do most people know that, do they?
Well, I don't know.
We do now.
In the circles I'm going, on my nerd forums, they do. I don't know. It's probably common knowledge to some people. But so you can have, it's just making SLI a lot better. But they've done some benchmarks on it already. But
surely that's not going to work with the current generations of card. It's going to be some scam where it's only going to be the new cards.
Again, so NVIDIA in their masters of marketing, all the card like the 900 series have said, DirectX 12 compatible, you're ready to go. But what they've actually done is it's not really like built into the hardware. It's actually they've just kind of like patched it in with drivers like after.
Oh, right.
And the whole thing is like with DirectX 12 is to get around the drivers and make it like it's like just straight for the hardware type thing. So. It's kind of lying a little bit. So I think there's going to be a backlash on that. And with the first benchmarks they've done, there's a game on Steam called... what's it called? Totally forgotten. It's it's like a Supreme Commander type game. It's like DirectX 12. No, I've got both.
Grey Goo?
No, not that.
That is a...
I have that. Yeah, I have that game. It's not that.
Why would they call it Grey Goo?
What is it?
What a bad name.
Why not?
Yeah. Oh, terrible. Yeah. Anyway, so far the AMD cards are coming out like a lot faster than Nvidia cards.
Right.
With DirectX 12, so far like Nvidia cards are actually slower with DirectX 12.
Even though they've got that
Yeah,
bit of
they're like, it's going to be faster. It's
marketing
going to be,
double talk.
Yeah. So they're not faster.
Oh, wow.
It'll be their next line.
That's a twist. I wouldn't
Wouldn't have guessed that. So it's kind of bringing the AMD cards back into the fight a little bit. So, it's been pretty one-sided for a while.
Ashes of the Singularity?
That's it, Ashes of the Singularity.
There you go.
It looks an amazing looking game if you like, Supreme Commandery type games. Mm-hmm. But again, like they're saying, so once again, they've said, yep, DirectX 12 is going to have SLI support built into it. That game doesn't at the moment. So it's just another one. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's give it a few more years.
The amount of promises that get broken.
Yeah, but in a few more years, they'll be flogging some other...
Yeah.
Well, DirectX 11, when that came out, it took them a while to get going. This is very new, so... you've got to give them a while to bring it around.
You got it. When you give them $1,000, you got to give them that bit of leeway.
Yeah.
Well,
except that some stuff isn't going to work.
But I'm an Nvidia person, so I'm not that bothered because it runs better on DirectX 11 anyway.
Yeah.
So it's let's take a performance hit for no reason at the moment. So
you can brag that you're using DirectX 12.
Yeah.
To all the ladies.
So yeah.
Well, have you heard a little something called DirectX 12?
Yeah, I when I'm looking to get laid, just say that to my girlfriend and knickers come off.
It's on.
Pretty fast. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Any other tech news there, Brett?
Well, no, actually, that's all I want to talk.
Right, yeah, that is some very exciting news there.
I mean, is that interesting to you at all? Or?
So, well, yeah, because it's I love it how they just try to rip you off with scams.
I don't think they're trying to rip you off. It's just what they do is they just focus on all the good things and then just say that that's going to be that and then it isn't.
And then it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's more about, it's just lying, I suppose, as opposed to scamming.
Classic.
Just,
I don't think I'll be doing anything with that information just yet.
Yeah. It'll, in a year's time, most games will be DirectX 12 and it will matter.
A lot of these things, when they are released, I'm just anticipating failure. I don't know if it's just from history or...
Yeah, it's because
it just seems like it's not going to work, no matter what they promise. I
always buy into the hype. I don't know why. Yeah. I know that it's not going to be like that. But
that's why they do it, because people buy the stuff when it comes out and doesn't work. And they go, okay, early adopters are just going to help us iron out
these
the
are
bugs.
our beta testers. Just
and they'll play it.
Always do it.
Yeah.
I'm always I want to believe.
Yeah. So you're essentially they skimp money on...
I'm going to buy that X-Files poster now.
Product testing, because they get you to do it.
Yeah,
and they get money
I pay
up
them
front. Yeah,
pay them to do it. Well,
you're funding gaming. So
I get good frame rate most of the time when in Assassin's Creed Syndicate when it's not crashing. It's amazing. Yeah, when I don't have to disable SLI for it to even work.
Just certain scenes. Yeah.
So we're gonna go on with Tyler's game tip of the week.
Oh right,
we don't have a jingle for this, so
yeah. All right, so. Well, pretty much what you're getting is something I've noticed, a couple of things I've noticed in Fallout in the last few weeks. 2 fun facts that you may not have been aware of. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. The first fun fact was that you can actually stealthily put grenades in people's pockets when they're not looking and blow them up.
Yeah.
Did you know you could do that, Brett?
No. Because I don't use the stealth perks.
I just enjoy robbing people blind, and once you get level,
he's not even talking about the game.
No, well, yeah, Fallout 2. But once you get the second tier of the pickpocket perk, it allows you to put unpinned grenades into people's pockets.
Nice.
And then just sort of run for your life.
So is that like anyone? Like
yeah, well, I mean, consequences ensue. But it's
and hilarity.
Absolutely.
In Fallout, right? If you kill someone who's on the main story quest line, which you can do, does it just break the game?
Some people don't die, that super mutant fella who helps you with some shit later in the game.
Yeah.
I tried to kill him because I was like, mutant, die. Didn't obviously think to even talk to him first. Had to reload.
Racist.
Yeah, well, very racist. But he didn't die. He gets to 0 health. He kind of takes a knee and he stands back up and starts fighting you again. Oh, okay. So I don't know I just thought, okay, just a quick.
So people who are they'll break the game.
Well, you can still blow them up, but I don't know what will happen after that.
Back maybe or something.
But it's more just like a fun, silly, useless perk, which I don't know who came up with that.
I think they had it a previous one. I've heard of that.
I seem to remember it in the
occurring
previous
in
one.
games
I
before.
think you could do it in Fallout 3.
Yeah, it's just funny
I
how...
vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
Have you
anyway.
ever used
It's a
that in
good idea.
combat or anything, or is it more just like being a cunt?
No, I actually... I loaded it up, played with it for a bit, and then reloaded to respend that perk. I just thought it'd be funny to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's
What
not really,
happened?
not really much of a
Something
tip
blew up.
there, but something fun you can do. Another thing I found, which is quite early in the game, is you can actually get a super mutant to be your companion, which I thought that wouldn't be possible.
Yes.
Did you see that at any
No.
stage?
No.
It's a very early
I
on.
hate mutants.
Yeah, well, no, so do I. But see, I got this fella to help me, and I
Too
gave him a
racist.
sword, and he just runs in. He's way better than the dog. He just runs in screaming silly shit, and he just slices people with the sword. And he's got a giant hammer as well.
Yep.
So there's a mission early on in the game called Curtain Call, where you walk into Boston City and you get a distress beacon thing goes off in your radio. You trace it to this giant tower called the Trinity Towers, and it's pretty tough. You got to work your way all the way to the top of this thing, full of super mutants. And when you get to the top, there's a fella up there, and
I know what you're talking about now.
he's after the milk of human kindness. It's sort of the
I never used
innuendo there. Yeah.
I never.
Oh, in my opinion.
Yeah. Milk of human kindness.
Yeah, well, that's what he was asking for. I was like, let's go. So
Is that what you call it when you?
that's what he asked for. I don't know.
All right.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a metaphor for...
What do you think it means?
You don't want to know what I think it means, but he's looking...
but-
Semen.
I
think
do.
it's all-
Oh, semen.
Well, I mean, I assume.
So you think
So
a
he's-
mutant wants your semen?
He wants someone's semen, and I'm helping him to find it. He hasn't elaborated yet.
okay.
You sort of learn more about him as you go, as with any character, so I'm hoping there's some sort of... I don't want to say rape, but something happens at some point in the game.
Oh yeah, don't say it.
I was say you did.
In any case,
Thank God you didn't say it.
go to the Trinity Towers and pick up the super mutant. He's good fun. Give him a sword. I highly recommend it.
So you have to kill a bunch of mutants to get a mutant.
Yes.
Why don't you just
But this
be
mutant's
nice
way
to the first
stronger.
one?
You can't just enslave any old mutant. This fella's happy to come with
Most
you.
of them are right assholes.
Yeah.
I just want.
They look like orcs. They're hilarious. These giant green fellas.
Racist.
You give the guy a bat or something.
Sure it
It's
is.
it's good fun. Anyway,
Is it racist if it's like
if it's true.
Well, no, it's like if you say they're like a bad driver, is it racist?
They're good at fighting.
Yeah.
You know? It's-
I mean, comparing
seen
a
it.
super mutant to an orc is. I don't know. That's,
he looks identical. If you look at my screen, he looks like an orc.
Is it racist to the? Is it mean to the orcs or the super mutants?
I think both. I mean, they're
Because
both.
you know
they're
about-
both individual, fantastical races, and they.
Oh, it's like
you
you're
know,
combining them together. It's like
Yeah.
saying.
Well,
I
you're just
dare-
lumping them together.
I dare say these guys have been modelled on orcs to look at them, but who
That's
knows?
all
I thought they basically are.
Well, it's not a great photo, but it's just
Sorry, I was just showing Michael.
it's just a giant green man.
just being aware that we're audio only
what I mean?
format. It's not interesting to anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You all know what a super mutant looks like. Anyway, go
Yeah.
find him. He's good fun. He's better than the dog, and I've enjoyed having him by my side. Although he's very big, he gets stuck indoors and stuff a lot, but that's just Bethesda, isn't it?
classic. just,
Yeah.
just iron out those kinks.
Yeah.
Just getting right on it.
We have a listener question. Thrillho's back.
Oh, fucking Thrillho. Is he our only listener?
Yes, we have one listener. Hello,
right.
Thrillho. This is for you, buddy.
Hopefully single.
At GB.
No, I won't say
Yeah,
that.
we told him.
Bad advice.
We
last
told him
week.
to break up with his girlfriend last weekend, so we're not sure how that went. Thoughts on Fallout 4 as a RPG compared to a straight shooter?
What's a straight shooter?
I don't know what that means. Is it a good RPG? I'm just reading this verbatim straight up. Is it a good RPG? I think dialogue options / story choices are poor. What do you think, Michael?
Intriguing.
Having played the game, like
Having not played the game,
How do you feel?
I can imagine it's almost identical to Fallout.
I don't know.
isn't that like someone who always tells the truth? He's a real straight shooter, that guy.
You know what?
I think he means like Doom.
I think he means something.
Oh, because it's sort of a hybrid between a shooter and an
first-person
RPG.
shooter.
Yeah, that's what he means. He means, do you think it's more of a first-person
Why is he
shooter?
comparing it to a? Oh, so he means like, is it a?
It's not your typical RPG. With it's a bit
Sort of a
different.
cross
It is a
between-
role playing game, but it is also a first person shooter. It's kind of weird.
I think Bethesda is just an
their own little
open world
thing.
game with like what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? A spreadsheet attached to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you're playing like Skyrim at the moment,
Yeah.
right? So
Embarrassing.
Do you?
I love Skyrim.
I didn't when it
Oh, I
first
suppose
came
you haven't.
out.
I was going to say, can you compare it to Fallout?
Very
But you
similar.
can't.
I imagine that they're the same games. They're just reskinned. That's
Bow
what
and arrow
Bethesda
instead of-
does.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
They reskin.
Reskin's pretty harsh, man, because they built like a whole new map. So it's not like
Wow,
reskin's
yeah.
like.
But
you know,
what is that? It's a big open world with like little clumps of population.
Lots
and
of
quests.
dialogue. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like go
So
here,
reskin,
collect
I would
A.
say.
Go,
Yeah. Talk
I
to
know.
some person. Oh, my daughter ran off into the forest because of XYZ.
Do you think the shine's worn off Fallout a little bit? Like we were when we first playing it first week, I was so addicted and loving it, but I feel like sort of retrospectively, I'm sort of looking back on it a bit like, oh, like
It's a bit like it's like the gaming equivalent of like a Sizzler's buffet.
So here's all these things.
Salad bar.
Just,
Yeah,
salad
you go
bar.
to salad
No,
bar.
well, that's what I said that about like Battlefront. I said it was like a Big Mac meal.
Yeah, so you eat it and then you're done.
It's
Sizzler's
like, but it
buffet.
makes you feel sick.
But a salad bar, you can be there for a while. Like a life.
It takes ages to get your nutrition out of it.
Yeah, or maybe it's like a life
tastes
pass
horrible.
to Sizzler, so you can go in like
Keep
having
going in.
Fallout 4 is like a life pass to Sizzler, so you can go in any day.
You get a lot of hours.
and
out
you can
of
just
it.
sit there for like 4 hours eating, and it's going to taste exactly the same. But
Yeah,
you know,
I see.
it'll fill
Oh,
you
yeah,
up.
It's pretty good.
Good analogy.
You know what I
there.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
You may also get fat, maybe.
Well, not if you eat the salad bar.
Doesn't the salad bar contain like
Well, yeah, it depends what
pasta
you
and
eat.
shit as well?
Yeah.
Anyway,
You could just eat
we
pasta,
digress.
bolognese.
Yeah, we'll do our
There you go,
Sizzler.
Thrillo. There's your answer.
So what is
I don't
what
think
is
we
the-
actually-
we
I
didn't
don't
really
know.
answer
I forgot
that.
the question.
We
I
just
don't know.
rambled.
Is it more of a straight shooter, straight up
Straight
shooter?
shooter.
That classic saying that everyone uses?
Yeah, like-
or more of an RPG because he didn't like the dialogue?
I think
He doesn't.
the
Dialogue's not
is
bad.
good
Considering there's
when
like
it works.
Since there's 100 billion lines of
They've
dialogue,
gone for a quantity over quality.
it's like every word ever spoken. So how can you say it's not good? Because it's everything, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like the infinite
Explain.
monkeys thing. Well, I don't know. Like they've sort of they've said everything that can be
I
said.
think you're dead right. And the problem with that is sometimes the speeches don't flow smoothly together.
Yes.
It's kind of like, here is 1,000 introductions, here's 1,000 retorts. And sometimes they're really comically bad.
Yeah,
So-
I did notice that the voice acting is really good compared to like Skyrim. So,
Right.
because remember we were watching that video of Skyrim, and it sounds like
Yeah.
just like we're doing it. It's so awful.
Really.
Yeah, you don't remember it.
we're
being-
awful.
It's like you don't remember it, but you know, just people that can't do voice
Oh, it's
acting.
like, hello, I'm an orc.
Yeah, like, oh, you better go over to the castle and, look out for the dragon. Like, just like that. It's so bad.
Yeah. I really don't like dragons because they might kill me. I agree.
Yeah.
The first thing I did
But
in
then
Skyrim was...
I feel like they fixed that up, though. Like, with Fallout, they've addressed that bad voice acting.
it's better. Yeah. There's a mod in Skyrim where you can give...
I think you just skip through it anyway. No one reads
a lot of
it.
the time it's just like...
I do it for a while when it goes on. There's a couple of parts where it's like, what's the
another fun tip.
What's the robot called?
Jenkins or some shit.
Where he just starts telling you
Pennyworth.
his life story.
You can walk away.
And I don't fucking care.
I figured this out yesterday. You can walk away from any conversation. You can just walk
You walk
backwards.
off.
I never thought to just
Yeah.
press down and walk away.
Yeah, I've done.
Yeah.
I didn't know that like until
Yeah.
after this, and this was just. I was just like, shut the fuck up. But I was just
Yeah.
tabbing spacebar for ages, and he's going on about his childhood and stuff.
Yeah.
Even though he's a robot.
As a robot.
Doesn't even make sense. And I was just like, you just fucked.
That's one thing I liked about Age of Decadence, bringing it back.
I just threw some water on him. And fucking.
Age of Decadence has like real sparse conversation trees, and it's the only game. Do you know how like every RPG you can go and look at the profiles of every NPC? It's the only game where in a conversation it's like, whoa, this guy's actually interesting. What's his deal? And went and read his profile. He was like this dude who like, what did he do? He just like looked at people weirdly. Like he was just like, he was like the right-hand man of the mayor or some king in some weird city. And he was like just looking at you weird. And then he apparently had magic powers and like, he was like just
I
looked
thought
at...
you said it was a documentary.
No, it's not real life. So he was looking at people weirdly, and then they're like, "We're going to hang you because you keep looking at people weirdly."
That's a bit fucking
Just a
hard.
creeper.
See, it's no decadence left in the world. It's just
Wow.
no good. And so they go to hang him, and then he looked at the guards weirdly, and then the guards killed each other. And I was like, "That's strange."
I see.
So he's like
like
the
a
only
witch.
dude with like vaguely magical powers in the game, and his
thing is
just a
looking at
weird
people
lunacy.
weirdly.
He just looks at people.
Wow.
So that's the kind of thing you're in for with Age of Decadence.
Is that like the end game? Looking at people weirdly.
I don't know. I just sort
like
of,
the
I
equivalent
wandered
to the
off.
nukes in,
I didn't really like them because they were like this weird, like culty kind of group. So I left them.
And you never know when they'll look at you weirdly.
Is that a top tip from Mike then?
Top tip,
Look out for
yeah.
the guy who looks at people weirdly.
Yeah, give him a wide berth.
All right, I think we can pretty much finish on that.
Any other tips, Mike?
Nah, I've got a real good tip, but
You've
save
definitely
it.
sold Decadence to us.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to download that tonight. And that other game, the
Legally.
email one, I'm going to play that.
I really don't need your sarcasm, Brett.
Hey, I wasn't being sarcastic. Fucking patronise me. Sorry, man. I know that, like, I understand that people like different games to what I like. I understand that thing exists, but I just can't. I don't know. You
can't wrap your head around it.
I don't know what the rest of my sentence is.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Back to Thrill-Ho. Thanks for that question.
I forgot about Thrill-Ho.
Yes, it is a first-person shooter and an RPG, and there is dialogue.
We agree. It has this.
Well done.
Keep the questions rolling in.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Anyone else wants to chime in?
We can, Thrill-Ho, we appreciate it. If you would like to have a question read out on the show, please email us at gamesvaultpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at GVPodcast. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search for Games Vault Podcast, and we should be the first one that pops up. You can send us a message on there.
Subscribe on iTunes.
And if you like our show, we'd absolutely love it if you would leave a review for us. If you don't like it, then probably don't. And also, if you like it, hit subscribe. And we've got a few. This is our 3rd episode, so we've got a couple before.
Tell us what you thought of Mike and his funny, non-mainstream games. I always enjoy hearing about them.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Good
work.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
See ya.
Mike.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Games Vault podcast. Keep gaming, and we'll see you soon.
I think that was better without Bruce.
Yeah, I reckon. Oh, hang on.